There is no mercy at this stretch of river. Only one gets to walk away. A pack of wild dogs faces off against a massive opponent. A crocodile. Will their encirclement tactics give them the edge, or will the raw, overwhelming power of this underwater predator bring the fight to an end? Don't take your eyes off Animal Fight Night. On the Zimbabwe savanna, African wild dogs possess exceptional mobility thanks to an extended hinge ankle structure. Unlike predators that rely primarily on brute strength, the ligament system in this joint has a unique degree of elasticity, allowing an extremely wide range of flexion and extension without locking up. Supporting this flexible skeletal frame is an active Achilles tendon system. Upon ground contact, these tendons stretch to store elastic energy and release it instantly during takeoff. The mechanism functions like a spring. The moment the foot hits the ground, the tendon fibers automatically load energy and rebound immediately. They can perform sharp lateral dodges or quick backward jumps in a fraction of a second with almost no loss of momentum. The pack's agility makes them nearly untouchable, using speed to toy with their opponent. However, all of these tactics must face a formidable creature. A giant crocodile. The crocodile's hunting mechanism operates on the principle of a third-class lever. But it is fully optimized to prioritize crushing force rather than speed during the jaw-locking phase. Its jaw joint functions as a fixed fulcrum, with massive closing muscles positioned close to this point to generate maximum leverage. Although the distance from the joint to the front teeth is relatively long, the crocodile compensates with an extremely thick skull that minimizes energy loss. When the jaws snap shut, the immense pressure is concentrated at the tip of the snout, producing a devastating crushing force capable of penetrating any layer of defense. The dry season drags on. Rivers shrink to bare beds, and crocodiles retreat into deep, damp mud hollows, entering a state of dormancy to conserve energy. However, driven by extreme thirst, the pack of wild dogs pushes toward these same mud pockets in search of water. By directly invading the crocodile's refuge, the pack triggers an extreme defensive response. For the crocodile, being forced out of dormancy means burning through precious energy reserves, directly threatening its chances of surviving the dry season. On the other hand, the pack cannot afford to abandon the only remaining water source in the area. The pack surges forward. They use their extended hinge ankle joints to execute rapid pivots in a split second. Turning every crocodile strike into a bite that hits nothing but air. Their spring-loaded tendon system allows constant re-acceleration, harassing from the rear and targeting weak points at the hind legs and tail. This extreme agility completely breaks down the crocodile's weight and strike strategy. In contrast, the giant crocodile, despite possessing a third-class lever jaw system capable of delivering crushing force measured in thousands of pounds, pays a steep price for maintaining those massive closing muscles. When forced into high-intensity movement on land, its body quickly overheats and accumulates lactic acid, leading to rapid exhaustion. The need to open its jaws to regulate body temperature creates a critical vulnerability, forcing the crocodile to loosen its hold and break formation. The animal fight night is over. The giant crocodile is forced to retreat into deeper water to preserve its life. The pack of wild dogs not only successfully protects their own, but also secures access to the precious water source they need to survive.
Africa, an 11.7 million square mile continent, covering 20% of the Earth's land area, is home to more than 1.4 billion people, 54 countries, and 2,000 languages. It is also home to some of the world's most diverse ecosystems. From the 3.86 million square mile Sahara Desert, where temperatures reach 136 dF, to the 1.4 million square mile Congo rainforest, which contains 10% of the world's species. This vast and untamed land has long been the subject of wild animal documentary films, capturing its breathtaking landscapes and extraordinary wildlife in the ultimate battle for survival. Africa is incredibly diverse, with 1,100 mammal species, 2,600 bird species, and 3,000 fish species. It is home to the East African lion, cheetah, and Nile crocodile. The 11,600 square miles Serengeti is home to a massive migration of 1.5 million wildebeest. $250,000 zebras and 400,000 gazelles. However, Africa faces serious challenges. 40% of its land is desertified, 35% of its large animals are at risk of extinction, and average temperatures have risen 2.7 DGF in the past 50 years. Yet reserves like Kruger and Okavango Delta remain bastions of wildlife protection, serving as key locations for animals documentary films that showcase the continent's ongoing battle between nature's resilience and environmental threats. African wild dogs are master hunters who defy the rules of nature with their sheer discipline and strategy. Unlike lone hunters or lion prides that rely on strength, African wild dogs turn each hunt into a display of speed, coordination, and precision. With a success rate of up to 85%, they are the most formidable predators on the savanna, surpassing even kings like lions and leopards. When the hunt begins, the pack of wild dogs does not rush in to bite and tear. They patiently surround and force the prey into a position where they cannot escape. The strongest individuals will take the lead, chasing the prey in the direction that the pack has calculated. The rear guards block the way back, trapping the prey in a lethal encirclement. With speeds of up to 44 miles an hour and incredible stamina, Wild dogs don't need to take down their prey right away. They just wait until the unfortunate animal is exhausted. And when the time comes, the pack swoops in with 300 psi bites. Tearing the prey apart in less than a minute. But what makes these predators special is not just their hunting tactics, but their rare solidarity. In a pack, no individual is left behind. If a wild dog is injured, the pack will share food, protecting it from danger. They even have their language, a complex communication system using sounds, ear positions, and tail movements to guide strategy. In a harsh animal world, they are not only powerful hunters but also loyal warriors, living and dying for their pack. Yet, despite being the rulers of the savannah, African wild dogs are facing extinction. With fewer than 6,000 individuals remaining, habitat loss and conflict with humans are pushing them to the brink of extinction. Their perfection in hunting tactics cannot withstand the devastating impacts of humans in nature. This harsh reality is often highlighted in wild animal documentary films, showcasing their incredible survival strategies and the urgent need for conservation efforts. No rush, no impatience. Hyenas don't need to be the best hunters. They are masters of patience and cunning. Unlike lions or wild dogs, hyenas don't rely on speed or coordination to take down their prey. Instead, they use their intelligence and tenacity to snatch the spoils from others. As the most daring predators, hyenas can challenge lions, leopards, and especially wild dog packs, which are known for their solidarity. Their most fearsome weapon is their teeth, which have a bite force of up to 1,100 psi, stronger than a small crocodile. With just one bite, they can crush large bones, eating all the meat and marrow inside. Something that very few other predators can do. This ability helps them make the most of every food source, from carrion to the leftover scraps after each hunt. But what makes hyenas truly formidable is their tight-knit social system. They are matriarchal, where females are in charge. Female alphas can be up to 25% larger than males. And they are the ones who decide who eats first, who breeds, and who is ousted from the pack. In the wild, where strength is often everything, hyenas prove that sometimes cunning and persistence are the keys to power. Their dominance and complex hierarchy make them a fascinating subject in wild animal documentary films. Capturing their intelligence, strategic hunting, and relentless survival instincts. The sun slowly sank below the horizon, dyeing the African savanna a fiery orange. After a grueling chase, the pack of wild dogs finally brought down an antelope. Rapid breathing and excitement, the feast was ready. But then, a familiar sound rang out in the air. A cold, lingering, and scheming laugh. It was a moment straight out of a wild animal documentary, where victory is never guaranteed, and the battle for survival is an endless cycle of predator and prey. From afar, 10 hyenas appeared, silent but menacing. They did not attack immediately, but slowly approached. Their sharp eyes following the wild dog's every move. The hyenas did not need to rush. They knew that patience was the winner. Tension filled the air. A female leader much larger than the males suddenly charged forward. Not to attack the predator, but to rob the antelope. Immediately, the entire pack of hyenas responded, overwhelming the pack of wild dogs with strength and numbers. The powerful bites, with a force of 1,100 psi, enough to crush bones, forced the pack to retreat. The wild dogs are not easy to give up, but they know that this is an unequal battle. One by one, they leave in bitterness, leaving the spoils to the cunning robbers. In the wild, the predators do not always win. And this time, the hyenas have once again proven that they are masters of perseverance and cunning. A few days ago, the wild dogs had lost their prey to the hyenas. But this time, they are no longer the underdogs. In the wild, defeat is only temporary. And true warriors always return to reclaim what is theirs. In a clearing, 7 hyenas are burying their snouts in the carcass of an old buffalo, enjoying a delicious meal. Their teeth have the bite force of lions and small crocodiles. The sound of tearing and chewing echoes in the air. But they have no idea that 15 wild dogs are silently surrounding them. Unlike solitary hunters, African wild dogs are masters of strategy. With a top speed of 44 mph, they can run for miles without tiring. A huge advantage over hyenas. But speed is not their only weapon. They have a tight social system and a perfect hunting strategy. The wild dogs strategically separate the hyenas, blocking all escape routes. Instead of pouncing like lions, they rely on agility, delivering quick, precise bites. Though weaker than a hyena's, their bites target the legs and neck, crippling their opponent. A female hyena snarls and fights back, but is quickly overwhelmed by 5 wild dogs. The rest are trapped, surrounded with no way out. While hyenas can challenge lions, they are no match for these faster, more tactical predators. The fight does not last long. After only a few minutes, each hyena is forced to flee. The proud predators are now the hunted. As the last hyena disappeared into the darkness, the pack of wild dogs stood over the buffalo carcass, their cold gaze scanning the grasslands. This time, they were reclaiming more than food. They were reclaiming honor. The African savanna spares no weakness. In a battle over food, a wild dog was badly injured and left behind, an easy target. But the story doesn't end there. Wild dogs never forget. And when one pack member falls, the pack returns, this time with the utmost fury. At dawn, the wild dogs returned, not to hunt, but to end their enemies. 20 strong, they advanced toward the hyena lair. Perched on a rocky outcrop, the lair was well defended, but even the dominant female couldn't stop what was coming. Sensing danger, 15 hyenas grouped up. The wild dogs, masters of guerrilla tactics, struck fast and retreated, breaking their formation. One hyena fell, its legs crippled. Another tried to flee but was forced back. Speed overwhelmed strength and exhaustion took hold. In the final stand, the hyena leader fought fiercely but was no match for 10 wild dogs. Within a minute, she collapsed. The battle was over. The wild dogs stood on the rocky peak, their gaze sweeping across the vast grasslands. The sun was beginning to rise, illuminating the victors. From now on, this land belonged to them.
In the natural world, raw muscle power often yields reaction speed and precise team coordination. The ability to adapt and change direction rapidly matters more than having a solid but static defense. What battle do you want to see next? Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next episode of Animal Fight Night.